p.m. on April 9th, 2025. We're to open the Bourne Board of Health meeting. And the Zoom chat will not be monitored. Participants who wish to speak must raise the hand icon until the chair asks them to unmute. Note, this meeting is being televised and recorded by Bourne Community TV for replay. If anyone in the audience is also recording or videotaping, they need to acknowledge such at this time. All items within the meeting agenda are subject to deliberation and votes by the Board of Health. So I'd like to take attendance. Barbara Princiotti.
Here.
Dusty Meyer.
Here.
Margaret Rielli.
Here.
Bob Collette here. Miguel Prieto is absent this evening. So second agenda item, tobacco violations. We have 4 tonight. And as director of the Cape Cod Regional Tobacco Control Program, I step off the board. Vice Chair Barbara Princiotti will proceed until these are resolved.
Okay, thank you. So the second item on the agenda is the tobacco violations. It's a violation of 105 CMR 665.010A, minimum standards for retail sale of tobacco and electronic nicotine delivery systems in Bourne Board of Health tobacco regulations, the sale of a tobacco product to a person under the minimum legal sales age. The first one on the agenda is Savon at 340 Main Street on March 23rd, 2025, which is a first offense. Is anybody here? Okay. All right. Could you step up to the podium, please? Yes, please. And then just state your name, please.
Joseph Sali.
Okay. So first, Katie, do you have any information on this, or we are going to use Bob as the expert witness? So since
Yeah, so I mean,
so
on,
you comfortable with me going over it with Bob?
yeah,
Okay, I just want to just double check.
absolutely.
Okay. So, yes, on March 23rd, 2025, at 1:08 p.m., an underage male went into the Save-On at 340 Main Street in Buzzards Bay and successfully purchased a tin of Crave Clear, 6 milligrams, and was not asked for an ID, and so then reported it to the
Okay.
health agent.
All right, thank you. Does anybody have any questions about that? Are you comfortable?
No, I have a statement to make, though.
Okay.
You have to train your help a lot better.
Absolutely.
Post signage and that, because,
Whatever he says, that's correct, 100%. We looked at the camera, but on March 1st, I've been an owner for a year, and I'm in the middle. I sold the business, we're switching ownership. Between my manager, he's supposed to be responsible. We get a new guys being trained for the new owner, new manager, new guy. It was a little messed up. My fault, my manager fault. Absolutely, you're right. I sold the business. The violation came in my name, but still is my fault. I'm still responsible.
Yeah.
And my manager is a big, I get a big issue with him. He should be aware. I told him, even we selling, even we training new people we don't know, you should be more responsible. He was taking it easy, not present all the time, and that's what happened. And for the record, I've been licensed for in different towns for more than 20 years. I never have a violation, But this issue, yeah, it's my fault. I apologize.
yep, just be careful, because when summer comes, you're gonna get a lot of traffic through there.
I know that, absolutely. And I've
Yeah.
been like too many times tested, and I passed it, thanks God. I mean, I have no issue.
You can't be everywhere all the
Exactly.
time.
Exactly.
Okay, so our regulations are very strict on the sale of tobacco to minors. The town of Bourne does take that very seriously. So the fine for the first offense is $1,000 and a 1-day suspension. So,
But my license is, I don't have no more license. I
So-
sold the business.
so the fine is in your name, so you're still responsible.
Okay.
And when did you sell the business?
Actually, March 1st.
Okay, so
This happened March 23rd, you said?
March 23rd.
Yeah, so the business did trade hands. The tobacco sales license that is in effect is still in Mr. Saeed's name.
Yeah.
The transfer of the license
Even the
will be
employee-
happening.
Sorry
Excuse
to
me.
cut you, but
Yeah.
even the guy, the employee who sell, it wasn't in my book, you know. But it's okay, if it's $1,000 fine, I understand, it's still my fault, my manager's fault.
Yeah, and unfortunately, that license, since it's still in your name and still associated with that store, they will have to have a suspension for 1 day, which will be this Friday.
But they have a new license, I think.
They do not have an issued permit yet.
Not yet.
No.
No. So unfortunately, I don't know if you know that gentleman or you know, but it's on the store and your license, which is still attached to that Save-On. So the health agent.
After 20 years first offense, can we?
I know, unfortunately, we really don't have any leeway on these. Ours are actually more lenient than the state, I believe. So unfortunately, we don't have any latitude to not do the
I
fine
understand.
and not do the suspension.
I understand.
I mean, the state actually is 1 to 30 days, I think, for the suspension. We've chosen to do it as 1 day. So, we've lightened up the fine just because the days, because we have no latitude on the dollar amount. So it is going to be $1,000. I encourage you for someone to pay it
Okay, we're gonna pay it.
expeditiously. And then somebody from the health department will be in on Friday to start, Friday at opening of business for Save-On to start the suspension. So it'll be on Friday, 4/18.
Which after tomorrow,
No, it'll be Friday, 4/18,
4/18.
4/18/25. So, okay.
So we're not allowed to sell cigarettes. In the meantime,
For
we're gonna
1
go
day.
to the health board and pay $1,000 fee.
Yeah, and then, like I said, they'll be able to sell them until the 17th, but on the 18th, there'll be no cigarette sales. And
One day.
they have to pack up, they have to pack it, take it off of the
Take
move
it
to a
out.
secure location, yes.
Sign we're out of cigarettes. We
Exactly,
get a big fine.
exactly. So anyway, we appreciate your compliance
Of
going
course.
forward, thank
And
you.
I'm sorry again, and we'll do our best.
Okay. So, does somebody want to make a motion, basically, for the $1,000 fine for the first event? The
suspension.
1-day suspension starting on Friday, 4/18, through close of business, and to allow, basically the products have to be, all nicotine products have to be removed from, all products have to be removed from the store, or locked in a secure location for that 1 day. But the health agent or a Board of Health representative is able to enter the premises and inspect the secure location or the premises in full
What you
during the
just said.
suspension period.
Now, my other question to you, Barbara, the store can still be open, sell gas and other products,
Yeah.
just cigarettes.
Just the tobacco
Are
sales permit is
Tobacco-
suspended, correct?
Yeah, just the tobacco, yeah.
So if they sell tobacco products, so in general, if they sell cigarettes, cigars, or nicotine delivering products. So whatever they sell there has to be suspended for 1 day.
Make a motion to for Save-On, 340 Main Street. Offense, first offense, $1,000 fine, 1 day suspension starting on the 18th,
Yes, Friday and the 18th.
Friday the 18th. And that's it.
And then basically, they'll have to remove the tobacco, the tobacco license is revoked, is suspended for that 1 day, so all products will have to be
Covered.
put in a, no, not covered, taken off of the shelves, put in a secure location. And they have to allow, cooperate with the Board of Health and the Board of Health or the Board of,
Or representative.
yeah, or a representative, access to the facilities during the suspension period.
What you just stated,
It's a lot, but at least we can be clear on it, because we want the health department to have full access for the entire suspension period if they need to, and any of us if we want to go inspect the premises.
thank
This is
you.
serious business. This is like
That's a lot.
kids. This is our, the youth. Anyway, so Dusty made a first. Do we have a second?
I second it.
So you're going to recuse yourself from the vote. So,
Yes.
Margaret
Yes.
and Barbara votes yes. And then Bobby is recusing himself. So, sir, thank you very much.
Thank you.
Like I said, we have lightened up our regulations so that it's just a one-day suspension. But thank you very much for cooperating. We appreciate it.
Thank you, and sorry again.
Oh, that's okay. Thank you very much.
Have a good day.
Okay, the second item on the agenda is Ye Old Spirit Shop at 41 Meeting House Lane, also on March 23rd, 2025, which is a first offense as well.
Yeah.
Could you state your name, though, sir?
My name is Tahir Khan.
Okay. First, if you don't mind, I'm going to just ask the regional chair of the Tobacco Commission just to give his summary of what happened that day, and then you'll be allowed to speak.
Yes, I understand this
Thank
was
you.
a mistake happened from our side. So we accept that,
Okay,
apologize for that.
okay.
But on the other side, we want to request you something others too, please. The one is, it will be nice if you also add a little amount to the employees who make this mistake. Because we have been training and they remain for 6 months, 7 months, then they run away, go somewhere else, the new men coming. So this has been, we have been facing this problem from last 3 to 4 years. There are no permanent employees, they keep coming and going, coming and going. So if you do impose some fine on the employees, then they may have little scare. Even we are trying our best to train them like that. Because I saw on the website the other states doing the same thing. And that brings the number of mistakes drastically down.
Right.
Because the employee has a fear. He has to pay $500 or $1,000, then he does more. I know everybody knows very well that nowadays employees, they remain on the phone most of the time. We try to condemn them, but this is the problem. This is our request, if you can do something like that.
All right, well,
And you know, the business is very hard nowadays, day by day, what's happening.
yeah, so why don't we let the representative just give his summary of what happened that day, and then we'll come back to your fine and the violation. We'll come back to, discussing that.
Yeah.
Okay, so on March 23rd, 2025, underage male entered Ye Old Spirit Shop in Scussett Beach at 12:21 p.m. and successfully purchased, again, a tin of Crave Clear, 9 milligram, and paid $7.43 for it from a male adult clerk. No ID was asked for, so.
Okay, thank you.
And it should also note that when the underage youth go into these stores, they carry nothing with them except the money to make the purchase,
Yeah.
if the purchase is offered. So there's no ID, they have nothing in their pockets except cash. So the purchase attempt should be stopped immediately by the clerk when the person requests the item that they're asking for. Before even reaching for it, the clerk should be requesting ID and because that actually begins the transaction,
Yeah.
So, anyway, he was able to get it.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Okay, thank you. Does anybody have any comments? So, sir, unfortunately, our regulations don't allow us to fine employees. I would encourage you, when we go over the tobacco regulations, to amend them, that you participate
Yeah.
and come to those meetings and offer your advice. Because you're right, if somebody has a little, stake in the game, if they think they're going to get fined, maybe they would be more diligent. So when those regulations come up for review, I do encourage you to come here and offer your input,
Yes.
because it is, it sounds like it would be a good idea, but again, you have to do it when we're going through the regulations. And then, we can maybe put a tickler, or we'll probably send it out to anybody that has a tobacco license, I would think, when the regulations are coming up for review, so you'll be made aware of that.
Yeah.
So-
Even we have the ID checker, and we paid about $9,000 for that program, and every year, about $2,000 we are paying. But still, you see, we're spending a lot of time to keep them telling, to train them. Once you leave the door, you go for someone somewhere else, and this mistake happened.
Yeah,
We
and
apologize for that.
Yeah, so anyway, it will be a $1,000 fine, and you will have to have your tobacco license suspended for 1 day,
Right.
which will be Friday, April 25th.
Okay.
So your license will be suspended from, opening of your business to close of business that day. And then you'd have to remove the tobacco products from the
Yeah.
shelves and secure them in a location.
Right.
And provide access to your facility, during the entire suspension period for anybody from the Department of Health or any board member that chooses to come into your facility.
Yes, we will do that.
Okay.
Yeah.
And then your fine can be paid, either, I think, online or
By check.
by check
Right.
at the health department.
Right.
So, just, Dusty or
I
Margaret, you
can,
want to
I
make a
can make
motion?
that motion.
Okay.
So I make a motion that the Old Spirit Shop at 41 Meeting House Lane will pay a $1,000 fine, and the license to distribute tobacco will be revoked for 1 day, and all the smoking material will be put away into
Right.
a secure location, and you make your facility open to the Department of Health to come in and check
Right.
on that. And the day will be of
25th.
April 25th.
Right.
And Margaret, and to the Board of, any Board of Health
And
member.
to Department of Health and any member of the Board of Health to come in,
Right.
be open to doing that.
We'll accept that. We'll do that.
Okay. Do you have a second?
Second?
Okay. So, let's have a vote. Margaret? Yes.
Pardon?
Margaret, you're voting
Yes,
yes,
I'm
right?
sorry.
Dusty?
Yes.
I'm voting yes, and then Bob is recusing, correct? Okay. So, sir, thank you very much.
Thank you very much
We appreciate
for
you
this.
being diligent.
Sorry for that once again.
Okay, thank you. The next one on the agenda is Noria Energy Retail, Inc. on 1 Canal Street, also on March 23rd, 2025, which is a second offense. Is anybody from Noria here? Can you please just state your name, and then I'm going to just ask the Regional Tobacco representative just to talk, and then I'll let you speak, if that's
Sure.
okay.
My name is Ben Brooks, and with me today is Derek Soares and Doug White. I'm category manager for Noria for tobacco, so I oversee tobacco for the whole East Coast of the United States and our 300 stores. Derek is a regional manager in Massachusetts. Doug is a district manager here in the South Shore area.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you, Madam Chair. So, on March 23rd, 2025, at 12:28 p.m., an underage male entered the Noria at 1 Canal Street and successfully purchased a backwoods cigarillo, for $2.65 from a young adult clerk, female. Wasn't asked for ID, and that was that. So, no, I believe this is a second offense, correct?
Yes, second offense.
Second offense.
Okay, so do you have any comments about that?
We were told that she did ask for ID. That was the only difference.
Oh, wait.
Examination shows
Oh.
her asked him something prior to
Okay.
grabbing him patting his pocket as a
Oh, sorry, yeah, I'm sorry. It is on my other thing. Right, would have asked for ID, but the sale was made anyway.
Okay.
Okay?
Yeah, so obviously, we apologize, the sale never should have gone through. The Massachusetts state law is that regardless of age, you need to ID, whether you're 90 years old or 21 years old. So requesting the identification is our policy for every single tobacco guest. We don't have to do that for alcohol. For tobacco, we do. But she did that, and then I'm sure that I don't know how the inspectors are trained, but I think they say that they left it in the car, or we left it at home, or whatever.
They just say, I don't have it.
I don't have it, right. And I think she was a younger clerk, newer. She had gone through all our extensive age-restricted product training that we do with every employee before they start. And I think it was a moment of weakness. It's a tough job. We do have very high turnover, as is all retail. We train them to the best of our ability. You know, if you saw all the passes on the FDA website, you know, I'd say we're probably north of 95% in terms of passing these things. But I do want to share what we're doing post this violation. So we have ID scanning technology in our POS that was functionable that day. Our cashier chose to, after he said he didn't have it, to just complete the sale. Had he showed an ID, she would have had that technology to verify that the person is over 21. So we're able to ramp up sort of the rules associated with that. So we've moved this location to a scan-only store with no overrides. The reason we don't do that for every store right out of the gate is for two reasons, really. One, military IDs will not work. Now we're denying sales to service members. We don't want to do that. Two, passports don't work. Some people, that's their only identification is passport. And three, for people who appear to be, you know, well over 21, meaning in their 50s and up, some of them don't want their IDs scanned for whatever reason. They're skeptical about it. And we are able to then verify the image and the birth date that way if they don't want their ID scanned. When we have violations like this, especially a second one, we're willing to sacrifice sales. These sales will not complete. It won't ring into the register with a price unless an identification is scanned. Now they still need to validate the image, obviously, is who the person is, but that's where we're at right now. Yeah.
Well, we definitely appreciate, it seems like you're taking some serious steps to, you know, mitigate this going forward. You know, I think you've probably heard, like, our regulations are really strict. So for a second offense, it's a $2,000 fine and a 14-day suspension.
Okay.
So, you know, that suspension will start on Friday, 4/18, and then end on, and somebody check me on the dates. Katie, maybe you can. Thursday, 5/1, at close of business. So during that entire period, I mean, you will have to remove all of those, anything that's covered under your license, your tobacco license, from the premises.
Yep.
You won't be allowed to keep it on the premises.
Sure.
Anywhere
That's
locked on
no
the
issue, right, guys?
premises.
Okay.
So, and then during that period, similarly to what you've already heard, you know, the facility needs to be open. I mean, obviously cooperation during that suspension period with anybody from the Department of Health and any member from the Board of Health.
Sure.
So,
Understood.
yeah. But anyway, we do appreciate you know, the steps you're taking to mitigate it going forward.
Absolutely.
So, thank you. So Margaret, do you want to make the motion?
Sure. I move, seeing this is the second offense, Noria Energy Retail Incorporated at 1 Canal Street on March 23rd, 2025. There's a second offense in 36 months. I move a $2,000 fine and a 14-day suspension of the sale of tobacco products. All the products have to be put into a secure location, and you have to be open to any member of the Department of Health or the Board of Health to come in and inspect.
Margaret, though, they, due to the time frame, they have to remove them from the premises. They can't even be kept on the premises.
Okay. Have to be removed from the premises. I didn't
So
know
off
that.
the entire property?
Yes.
Okay.
Second.
Okay. So, Margaret, do you want to vote?
Yes.
Dusty,
Second. Yes.
I'll vote yes, and Bob, please. So, sir, thank you very much. Thank you for your colleagues for coming in. We appreciate it. And then someone from the Board of Health will be in touch with you.
Absolutely.
All
We
right.
appreciate
Thank you very much.
partnership in business.
Thank you. Thank you. Okay, so the next one is Bourne Bridge Liquors at 310 Main Street on March 23rd, 2025, a second offense. So Bob?
Okay, so, yes, on March 23rd, 2025, at 1:03 PM, the same underage male entered Bourne Bridge Liquors and successfully purchased a pack of Zin Smooth and paid $9.55 for it with a $20 bill from an adult female clerk. Again, was not asked for ID. And
Thank you. Can you both state your name for the record, please?
Doug BC and my wife Pam BC.
Okay, so do you have any comments about the incident that happened?
Say that a person didn't check the ID. The girl who was caught in the sting has been with us for 13 years, and she's never had a violation before. So anyway,
She's
it's not an
very
excuse.
sorry that this happened, and we are too.
Yeah. You know, we apologize to the board. I mean, we've been here 32 years in the town, and this is the, actually the third time in 32 years that we've had a cigarette violation. The first 30 years, we only had one, but apparently we're going the wrong way. I guess that's it. I mean, you know, it's a violation, and we got to accept it.
Yeah, so I appreciate you being, like I said, your attitude about this. Like I said, unfortunately, though, our regulations are very strict. If we do amend them, we would encourage you to come and voice, like, your opinion on, changes to the regulations that you think may be helpful, because we always are open to that. But unfortunately, in this particular incident, you will have to pay the $2,000 fine and have the suspension for the 14 days
Right.
of your tobacco license, which will start on Friday, 4/25, and run through Thursday, 5/8. And Katie, you can check my dates. And the same parameters will be, you will have to remove any items under the license from the premises, and cooperate with the health department and any member of the Board of Health should they, want to inspect the premises, just to make sure you're in compliance. And then somebody from the Board of Health will reach out to you to coordinate anyway, I think, the start of that.
Okay, so the cigarettes are off on the 25th and on May 8th.
For the entire 14 days,
No, I know,
yeah.
I meant.
Through the end of day on the 8th.
Yeah,
Okay.
through close of business, yeah.
Okay,
And then they'll reach out to you anyway, just to give you
Okay.
the,
We'll give everything to you guys in writing so you
Yeah.
have it,
All right,
so yeah.
thank you.
Mhm.
and again, we appreciate you being here for all these years. Unfortunately, our hands are tied because the laws are so strict.
shouldn't happen.
No, it shouldn't
So
exactly.
that
anyway,
simple.
but thank you very much.
Bob, thank you.
Okay, wait, we still have to do a vote, though. We need to do a vote. Margaret, you want to do this one, too?
I move that Bourne Bridge Liquors at 310 Main Street, seeing this is a second offense, would pay a $2,000 fine, and they would, all tobacco products be removed from their facility, from the premises, from the April 25th through May 8th, and so they would not be selling them for that period of time, that 14-day period, and that they would be open to any member of the Department of Health or a member of the Board of Health to come in and to check your facility during that time period.
Yeah, and Margaret, can I just ask you to update that a little bit and just say anything covered under their tobacco license? Because I'm not really sure what they sell, everything that they sell.
cigarettes.
Oh, just cigarettes? Okay.
Related
Which we're not selling
tobacco
anymore.
material.
Okay, that's fine. I just
We
wasn't
learned
sure.
that lesson.
Yeah.
Okay, thank you, Margaret. Do we have a second?
Second.
Okay, vote, Margaret?
Yes.
Dusty?
Yes.
Barbara, yes, and Bob is recusing himself. So thank you very much for coming in. And like I said, when it does come time to review the tobacco regulations, you'll be notified. And then we do hope that you come in and voice your opinion on potential changes.
All right, thank you.
Anyway, thank you.
Thank you.
Okay, so that's it for the tobacco regulations. So I'm going to turn it back over to the chair, Bob Collette, for the rest of the meeting.
Back in. Okay. Thank you, Barbara. All right, so the third item on the agenda, Dan Barrett, General Manager of Iceland. Discussion and possible vote on a comparison and status update of the final recorded site assignment decision and statement of findings dated March 17th, 2022, and the corrected decision and statement of findings dated April 5th, 2024, as requested by the Board of Health. Mr. Barrett.
Evening, Mr. Chair and board members. Thank you for hearing us tonight. We were, as you know, at the meeting, at the last meeting, and we were tasked with some things to take a look at, as mentioned by the chair, namely a comparison of the two documents, the original site assignment and the corrected site assignment. A run-through of that showed no differences other than the removal by vote of the board of Article 14. The other question we were asked, or I was asked, was to take a look at some of the things that we hadn't addressed. And basically that was condition 12, 13, and 15. In your handouts, you notice we combined 12 and 15. They're similar. So I don't know if you guys want me to read through that, or I can certainly do that and then read the, if you don't have the site assignment with you.
Are you okay if I speak to it?
Yeah, yes, go right ahead, Barbara.
No, I mean, I think we've all read this, it looks good. We probably, don't need to do a vote on this tonight. We're not going to vote on it because we're just going to basically, you're going to correct or you're going to
Right.
still continue to work on them. So it's basically just open, and then we'll probably call you back when we want to,
Exactly.
Yeah.
The hope tonight was to get you guys to take a look at the new stuff that we are doing to make the corrections, and then
yeah.
work with the director, and anything that you guys see that needs to be changed, when we come back, we can make those changes.
Yeah, and we'll give you enough time to come back, and then,
Sure.
Because you'll be busy working on the, the new site assignment, which I notice is not on the agenda.
No, and
we're at.
we can get to that in a second.
But it's not on the agenda, unfortunately.
Yeah,
So we can't discuss it tonight.
Oh, well,
So, but again, I don't know if that was, so we may,
Okay.
anyway, let's close out this one particular thing, because I think when we get to other business, I think we can discuss it under future agenda items. We'll be able to discuss it on number 6.
Yep.
But anyway,
Yeah.
and again, I don't want to cut you off if you want to talk about all these things. You
No,
can,
I'm gonna-
but it was very thorough, it was very informative, and then,
Yeah,
you know,
so I have
it'd be great
both
to hear the
my
progress as you go
staff
forward.
with me tonight. Asa Mintz is Operations Manager, and Phil Goddard, Manager of Compliance and Technology Development. Phil did a lot of work on this to come up with something that was workable, so that we could get this done and respond in a proper manner. So those two are together. The second one was condition 13, which was an annual report. And you'll notice, reading through that I stayed on point rather, and just basically addressed what was written here. And if I can, kind of expound on that a little
I
bit.
would love that.
Yeah.
Stop talking.
Are there any questions on the information provided?
I don't have any.
I provided particular information on emissions, waste diversion efforts to include food waste, and addressing contaminants of emerging concern, and pilot projects. So some of those, I think, deserve a little discussion. I don't know if you got, how deep you want to get into the air emissions. I like that, it's my job, but they can be a little.
It sounded like they were so low.
Right.
They are.
That you don't even, did I read that you don't even have to keep reporting?
We have to keep reporting, but every 5 years.
If
If you can go 2 consecutive years below the cutoff point, which is 34 megagrams, then, which we did very quickly right out of the gate, we applied to EPA, and they said, absolutely, there's no need for you. We continue to test, and obviously, as long as we stay with ash, our emissions continue to drop. And again, this is another point that kind of deserves some discussion. You know, I've been doing landfill operations for 40 years. Ace is a PE. Phil's been around another 30 years. And when we went to ash, we figured out, it wasn't hard. I mean, I was in gas services for BFI for 5 years doing this stuff. But basically what we did is we used the ash to contain the solid waste, which generates the gas. So we were able to achieve in excess of 95% collection of all gases, emissions. Those go through a flare, which produces a 98% destruction rate. So our emissions are very, very clean to date and continue to go down. So the cutoff is 34, and we're actually at 4.3 as of this year.
Oh, that's
When we,
impressive.
when we applied, they said, you know, for the 5-year waiver, they're like, yeah, please, you know, it's one less thing we have to review, continue to monitor. So we did, that was in 2019. So this year, we had to do it again. We had to do the complete run-through. We did it, and that's when we saw a continued drop. So that's going well, and we'll do it again in 2029. It's kind of it's not a hard calculation. We'll skip over that because I like it, and I know I'll bore the heck out of everybody. Get to some of the more relevant stuff.
Dan, do you keep a calendar of like all, when you're doing all the testing?
Yes, absolutely. We do it every year. We employ Commonwealth Resource Management Group, who have an extensive career in landfill gas development projects as well as containment and mitigation. They were one of the first ones on the South Shore, or maybe even first ones in the South Shore, to permit an anaerobic digester at Stop and Shop at their warehouse. So we've used them since 2000. They've also helped us with permitting. Very, very strong group of people, and we're very comfortable with them. So yeah, we do. We went through an audit in 2020. Yeah. Well, DEP came down. Both times, and like any other audit, when they come down to your facility, DEP comes down unannounced and says, we're here to audit your air emissions reporting. And we have to report or record data like literally every day. We're out there watching it. So DEP comes in and they're used to seeing the shuffle. Oh, well, where's this? Where's this? And with the help of Phil and Commonwealth Resource Management, we walked in, opened the book. They sat down, read the book, asked a couple of questions, looked at our ongoing rolling cumulative totals, and said, well, you'll have our report in 2 weeks. And it was, both times were clean. So we've done very well with that, and we intend to keep it that way. It's harder when you get behind, so we've all learned that lesson a couple of times. So certainly we stay up with that. In fact, Tom Urancian was down today, as a matter of fact, doing the quarterly calibrations and taking a look at where we are. So to answer your question, we have files and files.
All right.
Thank you. So,
Well, next on the list.
well, that's the only thing, Dan, you are going to have to wait on that because it's not on the agenda. So we'll address that.
Well, no, I was continuing on with the annual report.
Oh, okay, all right. No, that's
Sorry.
fine. I just
You
wanted,
look and see contaminants of emerging,
Yeah, okay.
waste diversion. So we'll run down that quickly. Last year, 2024, calendar 2024, we diverted 1,098 tons of metal. Organics, which Mr. Goddard has been working very hard on, we'll talk about that in a second, but we were able to divert 6,286 tons. E-waste, 57 tons. General recycling, which is single stream, and the other boxes that we contain up there that aren't broken down, was 3,174 tons. Tires were 23 tons. That's 23 tons of tires. That's a lot. Textiles, again, They're a waistband item now. I think we have 4 containers up there from 6 now. Could they double them? Salvation Army and.
To every American Red Cross, Planet Aid, and Salvation Army.
Yeah. So we were able to recycle or send out for recycling 51 tons. Might be a good time to point out that at the schools are also drop-offs, and the schools get paid for that drop-off. So if you have extra clothes, I mean, we're not pushing business away from us, but certainly it would benefit the schools if you went to those locations and looked for the Bay State trailer where you can drop off clothes, textiles. Mattresses, 97 tons of mattresses. That is phenomenal. That's a lot of mattresses. You know, you think about how much a mattress weighs, 97 tons, which is, again, a good testament. I know Phil worked very hard on that as well. Batteries, 9 tons. Shrink wrap, something that Phil has been pioneering in his recycling efforts across the Cape in conjunction with Woods Hole, Sea Grant. We were able to divert 11 tons. And then clean gypsum, which has recently become a waistband item, we were able to get 5 tons. And that's getting better for us as well. So for a total, we diverted 10,811 tons of material out of our facility this year. Take a moment just to talk a little bit about Phil's project. He's been working with the county. The county did a feasibility study this year, and they're moving forward with trying to find a place to put a facility. They went out to the base. The base is doing a lot of their land divestiture at this point, and they were interested because they will be customers. They will be part of it. And you know, as I was telling Phil, in my reading and trying to figure out where this is going, because organics are 25% of the waste stream. So if you can get it out of there, number one, it's less likely to produce gas and cause odor issues, not only at our facility, not so much at our facility, but in general, just in the waste stream. So with that in mind, one of the things that I kept reading was that there are places that are willing to collect it, willing to start the process, willing to start the programs, but they don't have any place to go. I think you can concur with that, Phil. So Phil and his group are trying to find a place to develop it. They're working with the feasibility study. Phase 1 was the feasibility study. Phase 2 will be the business model. Who's going to step up? Who's going to run it? Where is it going to go? Joint Base Cape Cod is committed to finding a facility up there for us to use, and I'm not going to talk about it. That's Phil's bailiwick, and they're ready to go. So it's probably, what, 4 or 5 years away, Phil?
No, actually, even closer. Last year or so, Phil Goddard, manager of facility compliance and technology development. Can they hear me okay?
Yep, take it.
So I can give him the mic. I know he's going to come out of the closet.
Come out of the room.
Phil, thank you for coming up.
I don't know, they do the select. Briefly, Carrie Parcell at the county is the lead on this for the county. She secured a grant from 11th Hour Racing, which is a nonprofit in Rhode Island, to do the feasibility study. The county hired SCS engineers to do that study. It will be, and they presented the county commissioners about 2 weeks ago. We've been working, and also I should say that Mary Ryther from town of Falmouth. So Falmouth, Bourne, and the county are the leads for the Upper Cape communities, and we hope to also be working with General Foe, who's the executive director of Joint Base Cape Cod, and all the commands underneath as the tenants. And we presented several times, and the military staff out there have identified 2 locations that they feel are access to their needs that we will evaluate going forward, one of which is next to the old dump at the base, 20 acres. It is a long process of 2 years to divest that. They're going through a master plan you may have been reading with the Cape Cod Commission, and mass development to determine what sites to decommission and divest to the state military division would divest it to, like, the Division of Capital Assets and Management, and then they would divest it through whomever, right? And the hope would be that the county would eventually get ownership of some parcel of land to do this project on. That will take 2 years. So we were hoping a little bit sooner, but now the good news is that we have a very definitive support track from the military. The top General Foe would not have expressed publicly in the article that you've seen there and at the meeting with the commissioners, were we not to have the support of the Adjutant General, and by default, the governor, I would presume, as well. But Adjutant General is the top military official that the general reports to. So huge progress, considering also this is an active base, unlike Fort Devens or South Weymouth Naval Air Station, which have been, they call it, realigned and closed. To be able to do this on an active base is a major milestone as well. And the county, I will say, give credit to the county commissioners and the Cape Cod Commission staff who did their baseline reports, for them to come and say that they are seriously looking, and I think they're going to say yes, to running and developing their own facility, either through contract or themselves, is another milestone. And Bob, you work for the county, so the commissioners were very happy to see, coming out of a big solid waste study 4 years ago, that there's an actual project. They need to own it now and then hire people and develop it. So this is what we do all the time, and the county's taking some baby steps. But for them, I think they really want this to happen. And if this were to be successful, the base would have the chips from all their brush that would go there, all the cafeterias on the base, the 4 for Cape Towns, and then I have a feeling it's going to grow. Our vendor is Black Earth Compost, which picks up from our drop-off center in all our schools. They service Falmouth and many others on the Cape, like Mashpee. They're driving over to Framingham, Manchester, Groton, and the emissions don't make sense for that, so we want to get them local. And they are very excited to have a local, they would bid on it, of course. So that's kind of where we are. It's probably a 2-year process, so fingers crossed. But the hard part was finding a home, because people are very concerned about odors, as is the base. But we've improved to them with covered piles in accelerated decomposition with blowing in air. We can contain the odors, the vectors, the birds. But even with all of that, people were nervous about having it, in their drop-off area. If you don't manage it carefully, it gets out of control fast. So the base has a little more space, but don't give us your problem, but they are excited as we are. So all very positive. And our residents want it. And there are some diehard folks that come every year, every week to our drop-off. So.
Yep. Thanks, Phil.
Thank you, Phil. Phil's done quite a bit of work on that, obviously, and it's one of those, as I always say, it's one of those build it and they will come, and I believe that to be true. And the work that those folks are doing is commendable for sure. The next thing on the list in the list of conditions was contaminants of emerging concern. And I'll just kind of read this to you and give you some time to comment and talk a little bit about it. But the presence of perm polyfluoral alkyl substances known as forever chemicals continue to be prominent issue, drawing regulatory focus. Federal, state, and local regulators continue to gather information as they push forward to develop new standards while removal technologies continue to evolve. Utilizing funds approved by town meetings, over the past few years, ISWIM has developed technology that will remove these chemicals and permanently sequester them in the landfill, thus improving quality of our leachate. ISWIM is pleased to report that through the research, we have demonstrated that the removal of PFAS compounds from our leachate can be achieved to levels that will meet current Massachusetts drinking water standards. Key word there being current. Late last fall of 24, ISWIM and its contractor completed a 30% design that is the basis of a cost estimate to go forward. ISWIM will closely monitor regulatory changes at the federal and state levels to determine what standards will apply and how that might impact design and operating costs. However, based on the work to date, ISWIM is well positioned to meet that regulatory standards that will affect the entire solid waste industry as well as wastewater and water supply industry. ASA spearheaded this. It was a difficult project. I mean, I got involved as much as I could and keep the facility running because I like doing this. It was just very interesting. And I shout out to the people of the town of Bourne, as I always do, because one of the reasons I came to work here when the job opened was looking at what the town is willing to do. We were one of the first ones in the world to remove PFAS from leachate. we had to wait a little while, but we got a unit, surface-activated foam fractionation removal unit out of Sydney, Australia, back when shipping wasn't easy. And it's not now, but it was harder. It came up to Sydney, went into California, was loaded on a rail, and was brought to us. It left Sydney in April, showed up to us in July. The man who invented it, developed it, came with it from Australia. And yeah, he said, his comment to us was, we're like, well, we're doing pre-treatment. We know there's issues with landfill leachate, difficult components, iron, bacteria, things that need to be, that are tough to filter out, very difficult. Organic acids are difficult. So he came up and he said, well, why are you using this pre-treatment unit? So, well, we just want to make it easier. We want to see this thing work. We want to eliminate the problems, put the PFAS through this thing and see if it works. He goes, I didn't come here for that, mate. I came here to break it. He said, you guys got some tough leachate. I want to run it through raw. Well, we'd just as soon not do that if we didn't have to. As luck would have it, the pre-treatment system broke. And boys were putting it back together. He goes, well, I'm not going to stand there and look. Hook that raw up there and let it go. So we ran it for, I don't know, we run 11,000 gallons through it or something like that, raw, first shot. And we came back with most of the six, not most, all the six were non-detect. All the six contaminants were non-detect. So we were very happy with that. And again, you know, it's a shout out to the town of Bourne for the willingness to allow us to do that. One of the first in the world to solve that problem. We remained very quiet about it, but you know, it's worth mentioning, and certainly you folks as board members should be proud that you're part of a town that would allow us to do that. So that, going forward, where we are with that, obviously, what I was trying to say in those last 3 or 4 lines is that we have to wait for the regulations to develop. As I've said all along, I don't want to build a white elephant that doesn't meet. We could build it today. Well, why would we want to do that? We don't know what the regulatory targets are. The removal systems are being developed. They're getting more efficient. You know, obviously, we hope they get a little cheaper as well. But bottom line is, as we were tasked with, if the regulations come down tomorrow, we're ready to go. We can lay out a plant that's proven, and we can get the materials and get it done. But I think you'll see some changes as this evolves. I think the regulatory agencies are still doing the development stage to try to figure out what the best way to attack this is. It's a massive, massive problem, very massive problem. So our pilot projects, obviously we finished the pilot project on the PFAS removal systems, went very well. I say that without being in swinging distance of ASICs. I think he lost a little sweep and did a fantastic job. A lot of opportunity for him to use his innovative mind over there, so it was fun to watch. Couldn't really be part of it, but it was fun to watch. So we're less focused on that now. And the reason we are is, as you know, and this is through the chair, I'll ask, the last part of the agenda says, what are we doing going forward? So I can give you a brief,
Yeah.
I'll leave the, I'll leave appendix,
Okay.
I'll leave condition 13, again, for your consideration. What we're hoping to do, just to try to get us on the right track, I said I kept on script. That's what was in the condition. But if you guys want to hear something else, for example, geez, why don't you explain to us where we are? I'm setting myself up here, but you know, where are we on groundwater? Where are we on any other issues? How much ash did you bring in? How are the contracts going? Things like that, things that you consider you might want to ask. And we will do it next year or whenever you want us to. It's not hard for us to put together. This is what we do every day. So keep that in mind and let us know what you want to hear about, and we'll talk about it. To go further on that, along with the last part of condition 13, going forward, we're focused now mostly on building our office and garage space out on the 12 acres. we got to move forward on that in order to keep the expansion going. So Phase 9, which is the current horizontal expansion, will last 4 years. And then, so that, our clock is ticking now.
So
we have a certain amount of time.
Dan, I don't mean to interrupt you on the next phase, that's site assignment, but we did notice it's not on the agenda. So we're
We're
gonna.
not talking about the site
No, I
assignment, that
know,
was my
I'm just
point.
talking about the next, yeah, I just want to make sure that we talk about it in public comment, and then, we'll, on the board meeting, because we are going to need some public comment from your team on your timing and your deadlines, so.
Well, yeah, I mean, I'm not talking about the
No, I
area
know.
that we're talking about doesn't require site assignment.
No, I know
where
that.
the building's going, so that's, I'd
Yeah.
like to finish that if I could.
Yeah, of
Yeah.
course,
Okay.
yeah.
So we're focused on getting the building done. Obviously, timing's everything. We have a certain amount of space we can put in Phase 9, and we have to start digging and remove probably 250, 300,000 yards of soil out of the next horizontal expansion, which is Phase 7. So the clock is ticking on us. We need to get this thing done. And again, to reiterate, we don't need a site assignment. We're on that.
Yeah.
We're moving forward with that. And we'll hold on and wait for you guys to let us know what you want to see on the rest of those.
I'll shake Dan, we have a couple of questions for you.
Sure.
On the textiles, where are the bins located? Do they have to go inside the dump, inside the the facility, or are they outside?
No, you check in the guard shack.
Yeah.
Just like you would normally do. You have a dump sticker, and
Yeah.
they let you in. And as you turn hard left, go past the cardboard containers,
Yeah.
past the tires and the refrigerators, the bins are right in there.
Okay, so somebody can't just come drop them off if they want to? Like, if the bins are outside of the guard shack?
Yeah, no,
Okay,
it's
all
inside
right.
the locked gates.
Yeah, I wondered the same thing.
Yeah.
But
And,
that's why I say it would really, be beneficial to go to the schools, because the
Right.
schools benefit
Yeah.
from
I
that.
didn't realize they went to the school, so that's great
Yeah, I
information
didn't
for the
know
public.
Yeah, yeah, all three.
They're all up at the middle school, high school complex, they're open, you drive up there.
okay.
Good, I got 3 bags I can drop off on my way home. It's been a while to get rid of these. And
Give 'em to
I went up-
Dan. He
Yeah,
can
I
take 'em.
noticed they moved from in front of where Tuk Tuk is now located. There used to be some bins in there, and they're
There's always
gone.
around town.
Yeah.
Yeah, so I've just been kind of keeping my eye open, but they've been in my passenger seat for 3 days now.
In my size now.
Yeah.
And Dan, just, can you remind me, and I'm just gonna call it repurposed, how much stuff did you repurpose or sell or, put somewhere else? Like, it was like 10,000 tons, or, of how many?
Yeah, I'm sorry, 10,000,
800?
yeah, tons.
Of how
material.
many? Of how much?
Of each?
No, like you had 10,800, but, you took in 600 tons, 600,000. Like, how many tons of stuff did the dump bring in total?
Oh, that was one of the questions I was gonna see. I was hoping you would ask.
Oh, yes. Okay.
MSW,
So you
yeah, I
know.
think MSW was 217,000 roughly last year, of 219,000 coming into the landfill.
Okay, so basically 220,000.
Yeah, and our facility's a little complicated. These are combined numbers between the large handling facility, which is the
Yeah.
drop-off center, and the transfer station, and then the landfill. So we don't get very many mattresses in the landfill, obviously, but we pull them out. We pull out anything we see that's a waistband item or is recoverable, we pull out down there.
Yeah.
We also pull it out of the transfer station. When you go in there, you'll see the mattresses stacked to the side, the television sets.
Yeah.
There's a 5-yard container in there for clean drywall. So that's all included in that tonnage, it's facility tonnage.
And I only have one more thing, and it's about your buildings. Because I'm not sure I'm not sure a lot of people even know, like even the buildings you're in now are basically modified trailers, right? So basically,
Not
this
even
will be the
modified.
well, this will be the
Just
first time you
trailers,
guys will
yeah.
actually have a building.
Yes.
In the right?
It's interesting,
Like a
yes.
real
and
building.
Not to go down the rabbit hole, but typically landfills, like I said, I've been doing this for 40 years. I've had a permanent office at one landfill, and that was the scale house. So we're typically set up as mash units. You put your trailer down close to the working face so that you can see what's going on and be part of it, and you just keep moving. So we just keep moving, and that's what we've done here in Bourne as well.
But now you're at the end.
What happened is with the expansion, we now know where our final footprint is. We can't go any further.
Right.
So we're putting all the hardware down on the 12 acres, which is the 2 transfer stations, the garage, and the office.
Yeah.
We can locate them there and get them out of the way of the landfill. And by doing that, we've got 20 to 25 years of landfill space. So that gives us time to build the building, use it. One of the things that gets lost, I think, a little bit with that, and Ace is heading that one, by the way, the building development. One of the things that gets lost there is that whatever happens at the end, we don't ever want to say there's an end. One of our things is we've always told people that we would keep ISWIM alive for the benefit of the town through, first choice would be transfer station, a regional transfer station. That would keep ISWIM alive. But if all things were to end, ISWIM ends, there's a 50-year building that's been used for less than half of its life to give to the town. It didn't come off the tax rolls, it came out of ISWIM Enterprise Fund money, but it's there. It's a good asset, so.
Okay, thank you.
Any other questions for Mr. Barrett or Mr. Goddard or Asa?
Some of my questions may not be particular to this, I just want to make sure. I just think you gave a good report. And is this the first one that we've received since, we signed in 2023, correct?
22.
And then it was corrected in 2023? So, okay. So, and we would like to have this kind of report yearly, correct? Is this what we've asked for?
Yeah, he's supposed to give an annual report.
We are, and I think
Yeah.
that, I was talking to
Is this the first annual report we're receiving as of right now?
I think you've given other ones
We
before.
gave one in '23, but it wasn't, we try to be informative, we try to give you what you want, and like I said, I apologized at the beginning, I probably shouldn't have done that, but it was scripted off of the condition, and I don't think that was the intent. The intent was just to get it started, which is what I did tonight.
Okay.
And I proposed to you folks to take a look at what you would like to know.
Right.
What do you like to know? And, most of you folks are familiar. If you haven't been up there, come on up, take a tour, and see what we do, and that might prompt some better questions or newer questions or anything that you see that you would like to ask. It will be on the annual report.
It is fun up there, Mario, you should go up. It is fun up there, looking around, you're like, oh, that's
Well,
what that
I
is.
do go up there, at least to the recycling center. I'm very familiar.
But Dan, you bring up an idea too, like you're saying whatever we want to see, but like, do you have a menu of things we can choose from?
I was trying to spit them out tonight.
But again, do you have like a check, like we can say, okay, yeah, like Margaret might be interested in something different than I am, or Bob, or Dusty, like a
you
check
need
the
trigger.
box.
Yeah, you need the trigger.
Like, can you make us a
Things that I
menu?
can lay out for you. Yeah, I think when I come back, I'll have things that I think you might be interested in, but don't limit it to my,
Right, but can we see the whole list of anything we can order?
well, yeah, that's what I'm saying. I'm gonna
You know what I'm
give you
saying?
what you got, yeah. Give you what we
Yeah,
got.
like a little, okay, yeah, I'll have that with, But anyway, thank you very much, I thought that
Not a
was-
problem. And
Yeah.
Very impressive, the work you're doing.
Yeah, thanks, guys. I have to say, personally, I've always been amazed and proud of the facility that you guys have run up there and developed, and it's just amazing. And everywhere I go across the Cape and even off Cape, people, when I tell them I'm from Bourne, they, a lot of times they bring that up. The landfill is well known, and it's a subject of admiration among many people. So,
Yeah.
We appreciate that.
Yeah.
And I'll tell you what, it's, as I always tell people, I guess I'm a little nuts, but you get in the solid waste business, particularly landfilling, it's consuming.
Yeah.
You better like it.
Yeah.
And I'm just the guy who, directs
Yeah.
the operation. Incredible amount of work goes on up there that people don't see. We have a leachate collection system complete with force mains, 2 huge storage tanks. We're now moving our leachate to a barge, which is the first time it's ever been done in the U.S., and it seems to be going very well. It's expensive, but it also gives us opportunity to move our water. Removal of hydrogen sulfide from the gas. First time that had been done, and we were able to, we didn't generate any, these were the things that we stipulated on that project. No hazardous waste is to be directed. We should be able to take the removables, the things that we removed, put them back in the landfill without them generating again, which some of the current technologies at that time, that's what they were doing. They were just recycling it, putting it back in the landfill, it was coming back again. So we were able to do that. And of course, PFAS was huge. The contractors that worked on that were just all over us to, oh, you know, you guys should go in it. No, it's not what Bourne does. You know, we're not out there. We make our technologies available. We've given presentations to several vendors, communities, about what we did and how we did it. But enough about that. And I can't say this enough. It goes back to the reflection of the folks of the town of Bourne. I mean, it's an $18 million operation that the town didn't have to do, but they did it, and they've done very well. And as a manager in this business, sometimes it's hard. We don't have the big corporate backup behind us, but the town lets us do what we need to do and are very supportive, and so we greatly appreciate it.
Okay. Thank you very much.
Thank you for hearing us. We appreciate it and look forward to hearing back from you.
Okay.
Dan, can you guys stick around, though?
Oh, sure, I can stick around. Public comment? Sure.
Yeah, I'm not sure if we really need public comment, but you'll probably want to hear what we say in 6.
Okay. So next agenda item is a public comment on non-agenda items. If anybody, the public, no? Anybody on Zoom? No. Okay. On to number 5, Health Director's Report.
So I had nothing prepared. I did just want to give you guys a little update. I spoke with Bob over the past couple of days. We had gotten reports that people were still residing at 22 Marsh Pond and that the placards placed on the building had been removed. Stacy confirmed that, and we sent notice today via certified mail, electronic mail, regular mail, and posted on the door that we are giving them an additional 24 hours to vacate the premises. Otherwise, the health department would act on the Board of Health and request assistance from Bourne Police to forcibly remove any persons remaining at the dwelling. So they have 24 hours from just before noon today. So I will
So
keep you
tomorrow
guys.
you'll be on.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Okay. Thanks, Katie.
Yeah.
All right, number 6, comments from the board regarding future agenda items.
I think we had talked about the site assignment, the new site assignment. And I'm not sure how quickly we have to do that, because it looked like, if my memory recalls correctly, that the process was supposed to start around April 16th or 18th, and our next meeting is April 23rd. So I'm not sure, can it wait, is that something we should put on the next meeting, or can it wait till the next meeting?
Well, it's time, you guys are on a timeline for that, right?
Yeah,
gentlemen? So
we've backed up a little bit with our schedule, probably pushed it back a couple of months anyway.
Okay.
We have some things that we want to get cleared up before we submit. Minor things, but they need to be done. The sound study is being done as we speak. And we're also looking for, we petitioned supervisory opinion from EVA to change the footprint a little bit, so we want them to get back. That's going out tomorrow. So we gotta wait for those 2 things so that we can slide them in the application.
Okay.
Okay, just as a side note, I will not be at the meeting on the 23rd. I'll be away.
So, I mean, we can hold off as long as you want. I mean, if once we get notice that they've submitted to DEP, that starts our timeline, but that could be also when we start our process as well, so.
Right, so any updates to the schedule that they have, it would be great if they gave them to the health department. Then they can inform us, because that way, like, even tonight, I wasn't sure where it was at, because I thought they were starting on April 16th, so I guess the more updated we are, probably the better.
Yeah, we'll keep the director, as we always do, we'll keep the director in the loop of when we're gonna submit.
Perfect.
Okay,
Okay. I have
Great.
no other comment.
okay.
So they submit to
DEP.
DEP,
Yep.
and then you come to us. correct?
Yeah, so then there's.
What, do they have to have approval from DEP?
Oh, she not here?
Well, yes, but there's like a whole time line. I'll share it with you. You weren't at that
Do you
last
have a
meeting,
flow
so.
Oh,
Yes,
sure.
I have a flow
Like-
chart,
Like you
yes.
had for the, something else I remember.
Oh, yeah, yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. I know it's, I have read it somewhere, but I just.
Yes,
Okay.
I'll get you that.
Thank you.
Yeah, it's, we apply, and then DEP responds, and the first step is they deem it as technically complete, and they have time, if they find something that they don't like, or that they think we missed, we can respond to that. I can just read through very quickly, I don't want to bore you with it.
I think I have it. I think,
Oh, you do, okay.
I think, because I've read it, it's just, I don't have it right here in my
Yeah.
memory, so, I just wanted to clarify for our meetings that we, that we get you in, we're at the appropriate time,
Yep,
you know.
absolutely.
Okay. Anything else? Thanks, guys.
Thank you.
Number 7, approved minutes from several dates. Do we have those tonight?
We do not.
Okay,
No, we don't.
okay,
Motion to adjourn.
okay.
I didn't hear what you said.
I said motion to adjourn.
Oh, no, previous to that, I
Oh,
couldn't hear what you were.
minutes. We don't have minutes to approve.
We do not have minutes to adjourn, okay. And as for the upcoming health fair, I haven't talked with Miguel, but perhaps already he has a date to see, he has to see the select board, correct?
Yes, I believe he's on for the next week, the 15th possibly. I'll
Alright.
confirm that.
Right.
But yes, he had to have a safety plan in this week so that he was ready to be heard. And I sent him a couple drafts of similar events that he could
Okay.
modify. so.
Okay. See, again, if there's anything we can do to help.
Margaret, do you plan on
He's-
listening to that?
Hmm?
Do you plan on attending that or listening?
I still can't.
The select
Oh, do
board
you
meeting.
plan on attending or listening to the select board with Miguel speaking?
Oh, I wasn't thinking about it. Do you think you recommend?
No, I was just saying, that if 3 of us go or listen, we have to just put an agenda in.
Were you going?
No,
No.
you don't have to. I just wanted to mention that because anytime we meet privately, like anytime we meet outside of here, if we have a quorum, we have to post an agenda.
All right, thank you. No, I
Let's
won't
go.
go. I'll make it simple.
Yeah, that's all.
Okay.
Oh, and then here, now a motion to
Right.
adjourn.
Now, motion to adjourn.
So much.
Barbara
All right,
motions
I'll
to
second.
Motion to adjourn? Motion to adjourn? I'm going to speak up because I don't speak loud enough.
Oh, you guys can't say it. Okay.
Motion to adjourn.
I make a motion to adjourn.
Yeah,
Second?
she can make it.
Yeah, I can do
I
that.
can't. I
Yeah.
can't.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right, I'm
so-
seconding.
Okay.
Boy, I'm sorry.
All those-
Sometimes, as I said, sometimes I can't hear what you guys are saying.
I have to
Especially you,
speak up louder,
Barbara.
she said.
All right, Dusty.
Vote to adjourn?
Yes, we
Yes.
vote, yes.
I did have some, I did actually.
Wait, hold on.